Hello, my name is Cayman, as most people know on YouTube, Twitch, and many other places. I'm not a huge streamer, but I can tend to voice my opinion when I say I get the time for like many of the games I play and all the similar genres I play. So you can see, look at my desktop. I have a lot of stuff that I play, even Korean games, some Korean games and some like NA games and like little um I'd say a little indie game that you play with my friends, like 100% orange juice you can see up there. Now, the thing is, I've seen all the reviews. Well, I didn't say see all. I'd seen many reviews about Anthem. I seen Angry Joe Zone. I seen Skill Up. I seen Open World. I seen one from some many places basically. But the thing about they keep addressing is that what Anthem doesn't have and what it could actually make it need. Now, when the game actually got released, before it got released, they showed an E3 trailer, not trailer but gameplay. In the gameplay, they showed that whenever you pick up a brand new weapon that is a legendary or a masterwork of the item, you can ultimately look in your inventory on the fly, and it would decrypt on the spot, and you would be able to equip it and unequip it if you want to. It was simple. It was a simple case, and throughout the whole mission, you get all the wildlife and all that stuff. It's in the game. It's just that when people say like, "Oh, the AI is dumb," and all that stuff, that not really. You haven't played through the game to see how demanding the AI it will be. I mean, like if you play on hard after the end game in some of the contracts, and you're like shooting up an enemy or whatever, like shooting out like a singular enemy. An enemy will stay from afar, snipe you out of the sky without even knowing, and you'll be like, "What the hell just hit me? I can't even see what hit me." People who don't play the game to that point don't experience that. Now, there are numerous times people I've seen people have these kind of bugs in the game where they see invisible enemies and they're getting hit for like a bunch of places, and the game not rendering at certain points. Now, I gotta say, like, Anthem has a lot of backlash coming from a lot of players. Like, you spent, from what players are saying right now, they spent 6 years developing this stuff, and they didn't take the time to even put in some of the key elements in the game. Like, I'm gonna list you some of them. Number one, an on-the-go inventory for the player while they're playing the game, where they can pick up items and decrypt them on the fly, equip or unequip them over time, delete and actually get the items, or dismantle them on the fly. Kind of like how Destiny has one, how the Division has one. It's like the most common thing. Why would you not put that in the game in the first place? Now, I seen the stream where they said that there's a lot of stuff coming to Anthem over time. Now, you spent 6 months, you seen 6 years doing this, i.e., from other people who, from mouth, from word, they said that 6 years they've been working on this. Now, this is a kind of a common thing we would put in the game. Another thing is the challenges you have in the game. They're kind of absurd. Like, for instance, the challenge of valor. Why do I need to do 100 events, world events, and like so many of the stuff in the game just to get a graphic, 10 masterworks and 10 epics? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you have to fit the core to the reward, is what I'm saying. So it, like a low end reward like that, a graphics, basically, if anybody doesn't know, it just goes in your face, like on your javelin's face. It's like a marker, for instance. It's not like, you know how like in the Division you can have these like little markers, like the armband on your armband, and you have like the little markers in here on the Division. That's basically what the graphics are. The graphics are things you can. It's like a spray paint on your javelin, but it's a symbol. It represents you in some way or some form. And I don't feel like that kind of represents anything. The other thing that they have, the other challenge after completing the challenge of valor, is a challenge of might. That gives you only 2,000 coins. That doesn't make any sense for killing 2,500 enemies. For the scars, the outlaws, and some other enemy I can't remember. And then you have the lesser ones are elites and legendaries. They wanted to kill 1,000 elites and 100 legendary enemies. Now, that you see, like what I'm talking about, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I can bash on the Division 2, but the Division 2 only has like one of the biggest problems the Division have is the sponges in the game. I'm not even joking. Like the enemies could be wearing nothing but a tank top, and they take like 46 clips of magazine to kill them. Like it takes a whole team to kill a hunter in the Division on the World Tier 5. Okay, in Destiny, I can bash on the Division as much. I can bash on Destiny as much. But the one thing that they do right in Destiny is get the gameplay right and get the reward system right. Now, most people like Angry Joe and other people will be like, "Oh man, Destiny doesn't get the rewards right. It's always some obscure thing. It always links to microtransaction." No, it doesn't. Okay, no, it doesn't. There are things on the game that are more. I'm talking about core gameplay that are in Destiny that you can just go in, do the event or whatever, and then move on. Now, what's stuck in the microtransaction is mostly cosmetics and other stuff. But when it's following the game, I give it the benefit of the doubt. Not even the benefit of the doubt. I give you the whole table, okay? Because at that point, when I heard about that, I cannot throw the table in like Bungie's face. But then again, I can't really blame Activision for this, even though Activision is breathing down Bungie's neck at the certain point. But you have to understand why they kind of make these kind of decisions in the first place. It's not something that can be brought up on them ultimately in like flying time. It's just something to give players for the time being so they can create the next content. Now in Destiny got everything right to the core gameplay. Okay, the loot in the game is where it should be. It's not the best, but it's where it should be. Because because what I'm saying is like this. Everything you do in the game will go right to get you a legendary, an exotic, a legendary item, or something for your armor, or for your class, or for your whatever. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Now in the game, you have the Grimoire and you have the set of items you can actually get throughout the game: collectibles, non-collectibles, and just lore. Now everything is put in the game it wasn't put in the day one. It was put in there after a certain amount of time. But in day one, you had legendaries, non-legendaries, sorry, exotics, legendaries, and several other items in the game, which actually made good. So let's say, like for instance, the raid had a weapon link to it. It was a shotgun. You had to do various steps to get the shotgun, and then go back to the raid to get more seals, and come back, do another quest, and then get the shotgun you actually wanted. Upgrade the shotgun, and then you can actually use your shotgun. It wasn't that good in terms of using the shotgun. In a sense, what I mean by that, the shotgun suck at the moment. So, but in PvP, it was like one, if you get in close, which is like what people might need to do or do in PvP, you basically, just blow someone's face off, and they're gone. They're gone. That's it. That person's gone. This is what I'm talking about. Anthem problem is that this. When you say you do quick play, you don't get put into the system doesn't put you in a starting game. Alright? The desperate and the non-desperate situation is what I'm talking about. When you see someone needs somebody at the end game because it's difficult for them to kill the boss or kill enemies around, then you send that person to that direction. Not when you see the systems like, oh, that place is empty, let me just send you right there. Because this is what Anthem's like system doing right now. It doesn't give a fuck. It just sends you to whatever mission. It could be the end of the mission, or the start of the mission, or in the middle. Or the mission could be buggy. It doesn't matter what the hell it sends you to. It just sends you to that mission. Instead of actually doing it like that, you should do it like the way Destiny and the Division has it in the first place. The Division, whenever it sends you to let's say like you do the Lexington Event Center, right? You do want to do the legendary version of that. When it sends you to the Lexington Event Center, it looks for a new game. It doesn't look for an existing one. It looks for a new game first. When it see it can't find one and there's an empty spot for a game midway, it will chuck you in that direction. That's how the Division works, and Destiny works the same way. If you're doing a Vanguard strike or a heroic strike playlist, if the system cannot send you in the beginning of a mission, it will send you to whichever mission that's open, i.e. be at the end or at the middle. But the Anthem, this sends you anywhere. It doesn't make any sense, and this should be fixed. The other thing that Anthem has that's a problem with, again, with the player's inventory, it should be something that needs to be on the fly. You should have learned this stuff from Destiny 1, fucking the Division. Like, the Division gonna come out with some new stuff, Destiny's gonna come out with some new stuff, and they're gonna blow you out the way. It's that simple, because they already have the core community already. It's gone. Like, Anthem should have swallowed up the Division's community and Destiny community into one, but it didn't, and it flopped. And you're gonna do the same thing that Destiny has done, and see what Destiny is now. You're gonna keep patching the game. You're gonna keep putting this stuff in the game, and players keep mentioning it. And after a while, like, of you doing all this stuff, you're just gonna not do anything in the game, and you're just gonna say, "Oh, let's make Anthem 2." And you're gonna feel like Anthem 2 is gonna be better. Like, it's the same thing that Destiny and the Division is doing, but Destiny did first. Destiny made Destiny 2, and it flopped. But over time, it got better. But it was too late. The Division made Division 2, which is still coming out, by the way. But in my case, the Division 2, right, has still some of the core problems they have back in the Division. And it's not gonna flop, but it's gonna flop somewhat in the game. To my understanding, because I played the private beta and I seen the same shit in the private beta, the same bugs, the same core gameplay. One thing that's changed is that you get enemies that break off their shield. That's pretty much it, and some new gadgets. That's it. That's basically it for the Division 2. I don't know what to say, but back to Anthem right here. I keep stuttering on my words because I have a stutter from the past. I'm not gonna mention that, but we're focusing on the Anthem right now. You have to put a player inventory. You have to be able to decrypt stuff on the fly, equip stuff on the fly, and you have to be able to do this in and out of any type of situation. It doesn't matter what it is. The loading screen issue, less loading screen from IE to the Forge, coming back from the Forge. The reason why I say, like, you have to put the inventories and all that stuff in the game and the encryption of the game, because that would give less loading screens on the game and less people having to go back to decrypt all their stuff. It doesn't make any sense that I need to go back and, like, oh, check out my new gun when I could just open it right there on the spot. Makes no sense to me. But anyways, the other thing that they have to fix is the quick play. The ongoing mission, well, not ongoing mission, but the quick play should be something that needs to be fixed. If you're going to do quick play for not a large amount of missions, by the way, a small majority of it, and they mostly replay missions from Brim, the Sentinel, the Arcanist, which is Matthias, and the last one you have is the freelancers from the freelancers contracts, which turn into missions now, and you have some of the story missions in there also. But besides that, you need to fix the which one needs to go where, because if I need to, if your bot or your algorithm decides to just throw us anywhere, any point in time, doesn't matter where we need to go, it's gonna put us in a buggy place. It's gonna put us in a place we don't want to go. It's just gonna put us in the end of a mission which is actually ending already, or it's just gonna put us in any point in time, anywhere, anywhere. It could be the start, end, middle, whatever. This is how it's supposed to work. Desperately needed people who actually need to go to the end, who needs help at the end of the mission that they can't beat, should be sent there if they actually need it. But the most it should be looking for is for a new mission, a starting mission that they put you in and start the mission and continue. It should not be putting you in a fucking mission that is ending already. It makes no sense. And the tethering between players and how far they are from the strider, please fix that. Because when you see, because you know how Final Fantasy has this ring around everybody before you even start the dungeon. Try and invest in that, because that would help a lot of players in the first place. The tethering of other players is an issue, because whatever someone loads in before you, that person is already about 20 to 30 seconds away from you already. By the time you see you get in and you launch your javelin, not knowing when to go, because the pinpointer will not tell you where to go exactly just yet. It take about 5 seconds to do so, but in that 5 seconds, that person already another 10 seconds away, and by the time you see you jump to go to that person, you have like 30 seconds to get over there. And by the time you see you try to get over there, the person gets further with you, and i.e., you get tethered into another loading screen. Makes no sense. Now here's the reason why Destiny and The Division doesn't have a lot of loading screen. I.e., no matter how far you are, The Division has no loading screen whatsoever, right? Well, not, I wouldn't say it wouldn't have a loading screen. Well, I'm saying that when you see you doing a mission, it doesn't have any loading screen. No matter how far you are from the mission, or no matter how far the person is from the mission, you would have to walk all the way to that person in the first place. They said like you elected to an event center and the person's at the end of the mission, but you're at the front of the door. You would have to walk all the way to the person in that mission and then help them with that mission. And to this point, I have never seen anybody have a problem with that. Okay, no one has a problem with that. If I was you, I would take out the tether system. Let people actually get to the point where they can fly to that area and get that area without having to have so many loading screens. Okay, the teleporting to players thing, not needed. Okay, not needed. Not in this situation. The only place it would be needed is when a player is invalidly teleported in the game, where they're invalidly in a section of the game where they don't need to be. I.e., in the turret mines, whenever you get teleported between the two doors. Okay, and I'm saying that that doesn't happen anymore. It still does. Even if the day one patch happens, still does. You get teleported to the two closed doors. None of them opens because you're stuck. You're stuck between the two. So why not put the tethering right there? You put it in key areas, or in areas whenever a player is invalidly teleports to a certain area, so that whenever they get teleported into the wrong area, they get teleported to the team where the actual battle is happening. I.e., this is what Destiny has done, and I'm gonna bring up Elsword right here. Elsword is a game that's fucking older than probably like all of these games right now. It's probably like 7, 12, 13, and I don't know, like 8 years old or whatever. I don't know. But the one thing that Elsword has that's great is that whenever you jump into a game or jump into a battle, and your character is teleported to a different section of the game, it would say invalid placing, and it will have a countdown to place you in the right place, and it will place you in the right place after a few seconds. It never gets it wrong, and whenever it does this, it puts in. I can't believe a game that's so old is doing it better than Anthem at this point. And here's the thing: I'm not disappointed in BioWare, but then again, I played a lot of BioWare games, and I have not seen them stoop this low. Something must have went wrong during the 6 years you guys developing this stuff, because I can't believe I'm making this video. But anyways, let's continue with the whole section. Now the javelins are cool, but having different abilities for the javelins would make them more unique. What do I mean by that? You know how Destiny has different type of abilities, or the character has the different type of abilities. Like for instance, the hunter, the class I play, has three different abilities, right? And in those three different abilities, there's two of them in a category. So let's say like one I like to play, Golden Gun. I have three abilities in that category, but it's two, but it's only three. I say three for now, and each why I say three. One of the Golden Guns let you shoot three shots. That's the top tree. The bottom tree, I think it's the top tree does that. The bottom tree does that. But anyways, if I'm wrong, just correct me. Let's say the bottom tree gives you 6 shots. Okay, gives you 6 shots, and then the middle tree lets you throw a barrage of blades in the direction that you're pointing at. The Titan class. Let's take the hammers for a second of the Titan class. The Titan class is able to throw hammers on the top tree, gives you a melting point, and you're able to throw hammers, and the hammer on impact splits up into 3 different points and actually hits another opponent at the same time. The bottom tree doesn't do that, but instead on impact it leaves a sunspot in that area. And in the middle tree, in middle tree you get a huge hammer that you can go spin around, or if you press another key, you can actually launch a flaming tornado at somebody. See what I mean by different abilities? The javelins are fine with the abilities they have right now, but I believe that the javelins can actually gain more abilities over time by you actually being able to switch up the abilities even more. Now, not just the abilities, also the support system can be changed. The overall like abilities you get on your left and the right keys for, so like for the elementalist has the living fire and the 1000 sun type of skill. You can throw fire and you can send more stuff. Like, you gotta change it up a little bit if you guys want to make it more interesting. That's just my opinion on that. Anybody agrees with me, then more power to you. And then again, there is the other problem. Well, not problem. Other thing I think that the game should actually take more into consideration. Now, the thing about the Division and the Destiny is that Division came out with a lot of content. Not so much content because they didn't have the incursions just yet. The incursion came out after a certain while, but then again, no one could actually do it because they didn't have the gear set to actually do it that way. Now, I'm not talking about the gear set. I'm talking about the incursions, the raids. If you have strongholds, what are the strongholds? Are the strongholds a mediocre type of raids, or the strongholds raids, and we have to do them on a high difficulty to get higher loot? Now, if you're saying that legendary is your highest loot pool, then that's it. That's the game. You have nothing else to actually provide me at this point. The reason why Destiny and the other games do so well is because of their raid and how they do their raids. The incursion has sets of guns that are included in the Division that you can do to gain several type of things. It could be like a new backpack, a new gun, anything. It could be anything. More loot, more inconvenience. You could get more Phoenix points, etc. It doesn't matter what it is. You just get more of it. But that's just my opinion on this. Destiny, on the other hand, you only get gear and you get a certain raid weapon with it. It could be an exotic, like the 1000 Voices exotic from the Riven of the 1000 Voices raid, which is called the Last Wish. So that you have a chance of getting a gun from a chest at the end of the raid by using one key, and you have to do this every week, and that's how it goes. Now, they talked about this on their stream. They said that you get one key for completing the challenge of the week, beat the raid on either one of the 3 difficulties. And that's another thing I like to talk about. the fact that you have a difficulty set system in the game, which is, to me, in my own case, is a bad idea. And there's a reason why, like, I call it a bad idea. They see Destiny and the Division have a set of things they do to make the difficulty harder for the players, and why they like doing it on the hardest difficulty at first. That kind of sets them in the motion. Destiny doesn't have I would say a hard Grandmaster 2 or Grandmaster 3 type of difficulty. It has a set difficulty, but they see the scaling is right there if you look at it. You have you have the lesser enemies, which is like open world. And when I mean open world, I mean like public events and any enemy around the open world. Then you have the strikes, which is I would say, probably about a hard or Grandmaster 1 or whatever. Then you have the raids, which is like Grandmaster 2 and Grandmaster 3. Now you see the scaling between the two? If you scale the game like that, it would have been a better type of way of actually playing the game. Now this is why I'm kind of saying, like, you didn't really need to put the difficulty on the system, because putting the difficulty in the system kind of entices other players to say, oh, they have the game more difficult. Put the game on a higher difficulty, I'll get higher loot. And when they see it doesn't drop for them, they get frustrated and they don't want to play the game. This is why people people didn't have a problem with this on Destiny. Well, some people did. Like some people was like, oh man, Destiny needs a difficulty rating or difficulty system because it sucks or whatever. But then you look at them like 10 minutes afterwards and they're still playing the game. And you're like, okay, didn't you have a problem with the difficulty system in the game? Which kind of makes no sense. The Division does it a little bit differently. The Division has world tiers. These world tiers varies from different world tiers in the game. Like, you can put up the world tier 5, which is what it is right now. But in the game, if you play Incursion or you play let's say like the Legendary Event Center, you have something called the difficulties of that mission, where it's like you can put it on easy or legendary or challenge mode. Well, you have challenge and legendary, and in the Incursions you have legendary and then you have heroic. I think it's challenge and then heroic. I'm not too sure, but correct me on that if I'm wrong, because I haven't played the game in a while. But you see, like how Destiny does it, and see how the Division did it, and why people don't like the way the Division does this kind of stuff in a certain direction. People have less complaints about what Bungie does in the first place of the game because of the microtransaction. That's what people mostly voice their opinion on. But in terms of the game, the core gameplay of the game, I'm the Anthem kind of outclasses Destiny in some way, but it does need a ton of more work. Is what I'm saying. It needs a ton of more work. So, and the other thing is, like, I have to like press on. The Frostbite system is complete doo-doo. Okay, it's not good. Use Unreal Engine 4. It would take a long time for you guys to restructure the game on Unreal Engine 4. I understand, but you should have done it in the first place, because there's more cases of people actually having a lot more problems using Unreal Engine than you using Frostbite. There's a lot more cases of people having more bugs that are playing games that uses Frostbite, the Frostbite system, than anything. I mean, like, shit. Like, we watched Mass Effect Andromeda, right? Like, what the hell was that? And then I had to go on G2A, and the game is selling for like $1. I'm not even kidding. But everything I said before about Anthem and everything that it needs right now, it's what it needs. This would help a lot of players in the following years of content being released, and it will drum up a lot more revenue for you guys. Again, on the Vanity Shop, not just put 2 skins on the Vanity Shop, call it a day. You have to make a whole genre of it. You have to make a whole genre of it, and do it like this. You want more ideas on type of skins, on type of like stuff like this. You reach out to your audience, your community, everybody. If you know you can't do the work by yourself, you can always ask someone for help. It's not a big deal. You have many people who are looking for work out there who would love to create these types of like things for you or for your company. It doesn't even need to be your company. Like you can look up any type of artists out there, and there's tons on Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, everybody. You have a bunch of web designers on this like web design stream app, and you have a bunch of like other people out there who would be willing to do the kind of work you're doing. Like hell, even Steam has several artists that are willing to like make type of art for anybody. You see, like Warframe. This is why I bring this up. Warframe has the set of people who are out there who uses the workshop on Steam to make Tenogen skins and Tenogen types of cloaks, Saidanas, what they call it in Warframe, Saidanas, weapon skins, and like Warframe skins also. You need people to create stuff for you, and you would like to give them some revenue for creating that stuff. It's not that hard. Hell, the people who buy any Tenogen on Warframe takes, I believe, 30%, and the other percentage goes to the actual creator. Like, come on, like it's not that hard. You want to make some revenue, you want to make some build up stuff, you have to outsource your stuff. I mean, like hell, if it take yes, you can't say stuff out of word of mouth. I watched the stream. You guys can't say a lot of stuff right now, but if you guys need help, you use your community. You make your community help you in building up the game. You can't just take on a whole mountain by yourself. It doesn't work like that. This is why games like Path of Exile do so great. Like, come on. Like, like come on. Like, this is why games like WoW, and WoW's like a game that's so old. Like WoW, like you see how old WoW is? The reason why WoW is so old right now is because of the community. They had community managers on their forums, the people who they picked up because they played the game so much. You want this to be the biggest game ever, you have to also do something that the Division or Bungie doesn't want to do. Okay, in Bungie's case, they always bring up hyped up fucking Twitch streamers into their show and tell, I guess, or presentations. Like, for instance, King Gafalon went to one of the openings for a new DLC as well come out for Destiny. Professor Broman, you had several other people who went over there. But the thing is that they don't show in those presentations is what we actually want to see. They don't show us the full scope of what we're actually getting. Now, this I can understand. If you don't show the full scope of everything, that means that if you do show the full scope of everything, then people may or may not want to play the game, or may not want to play that activity when it comes out. But then again, if you make a good activity, you should know that it will not flop, because you're making it for your specific game. But when you see you make it for something else, like Bungie does, like numerous times, I'm like, shit, let's not talk about the Dark Below, okay? Fuck. Like, come on. If you can get what I'm talking about, you can get what I'm talking about. Like, or, for fucking Jesus Christ, the House of Wolves. What the hell was that? Come on, man. Like, look at this from my perspective. Like recent, like from I think 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, Bungie released 2 DLCs, right? 2 half-ass DLCs for $20 each. That's $40 in total. And then you had the what's it called? Forsaken DLC was $40. That's $80 for DLC in total. And you have to pay another $40 I think $30 or $40 for the annual pass, which has 3 more DLCs. That doesn't look good to me. Doesn't look good to me. Anything in those 2 DLCs that first came out was $20 each. They were shit. You don't want to make stupid DLCs. I can tell you this for foremost. The DLCs they came out with was the Warman expansion and the Osiris expansion. When we thought that we were getting like a whole enticing story of like Osiris, and they hyped up this thing called the Infinite Forest. When in my imagination, I thought that I could generate, or I could go to the infinite forest at any point in time, and it would just generate all these like lands for me, and I would just be going to like these different places, and I see all a bunch of players there trying to kill public events and whatever happened in this place, and all of a sudden like it would just change over time, like after like a few minutes or whatever, it would just change every single time, and like we would be in a new area, whatever. That's my understanding was something when you see you call something the Infinite Forest. Or in the other case, in a horror movie, the Infinite Forest, somewhere you can just keep walking and not get out of. That's my understanding of how they had the whole thing. But in my case, that wasn't what we actually got. What we got was us going to the Infinite Forest, where it was the you get to point A and point B, and that's it. And that's pretty much it. The Warman expansion wasn't even that good. Waiting 5 weeks to get one exotic weapon is not nice for a lot of players. No one likes that. And doing 1,000 of anything is a little bit too much. I can tell you this from foremost. Doing 50 or something is I wouldn't say casual. I would just say that it is just average. Okay, it's average. But doing over 3,000 of anything, you're just asking for the person to kill themselves. Don't do this. For foremost, do not do this. Destiny and the Division have a bad history of making looter shooters. Okay, from how they start to where they are now, you can see their player base right now on the standards of how it is right now. Now, I played the Division, and I can foremost say I enjoyed my time playing the Division. I played Destiny, and I've gotten everything I can in Destiny. In the Division, the reason why I don't like the Division so much is because of the exotic guns you get in there. They call exotic guns because they're all red. Now, here's why I say this. Before they released patch 1.3, I remember when I was on PlayStation playing the Division, it took me a whole month and a half to get one exotic gun, and I found it by accident. Mind you, I found it by accident. It was a time where I was gonna give up and not play the game again. And then the last boss I killed, boom, weapon dropped. You're gone. You're good to go. Boom, you're done. And after playing it for that much long, for looking for one weapon every single day, I didn't want to play the Division anymore. I came back to play the Division on the PC with my friends. I was more enjoyable to play the game afterwards. But then, what actually pissed me off the most is when you could get the gun that I took so long to get, mind you, on their vendor store. In the vendor store for Phoenix points. Now, if that's not a kick in the face, I don't know what is. But that's just my experience with Division. That's just my bad experience with Division. I don't like the game because of the bad experience I've had with the game and the bullet sponges I had to deal with playing the game. But I didn't say the game was not enjoyable. The game was fun. It had a lot of levels that was fun, and it was good. Destiny is fun. It has a lot of levels into it, and it is good. I could play with my friends. I've had many fun times, and I've had enough to play around with almost anything I can find of. But in Anthem's case, it needs work. It needs more work than I can actually point at. But then again, you have to put in the effort to actually get the game to where it is right now. The point is, I said in the video, it's there. You need these in the game. I'm not saying that I want this in the game. I'm saying that everybody would actually benefit from these things in the game. Not only that, I would believe that you have less bugs in the game. And to the whole Frostbite and the Unreal Engine 4 discussion, Unreal Engine 4 has proven to be more of a better engine than most things. Bethesda didn't take up the deal to actually do this, and in the process, they ended up hurting themselves and their bank account a lot more. You don't want to make the same mistake. Take it from a person that's a small channel, and take it from a person that actually plays the game and plays the grind on a daily basis. You know what my main game to play? Black Desert. And I have several characters on that game. Several. And that's it. That is just my opinion on Anthem and what you can actually do to spice up the game a little bit more. Story though, I know people complain about the story, but the story is kind of fine to me. I mean, the Heart of Rage boss does need to like lower his health down a little bit more. So like on hard, you could just two-shot him. Not two-shot, I would say two-shot. More like a couple shots in and he would just die. Instead of taking 30 to 40 minutes to an hour to kill him in the first place. Because it's kind of ridiculous to actually do that on the Stronghold version. Now the catalysts, I'm actually really interested in seeing what the catalysts are in the game. I know there's gonna be a lot of strongholds coming in. Oh, another thing, expand your map. Because you want to expand your map more and more over time. You want to be able to teleport to different stations over time when you see you playing the game. To like on a navigation system will be good in the game also. But you want to be able to do this kind of stuff while you see you playing the game. You don't want to have to go back every single time to decrypt something or look for something or equip something over time. You want to be able to have something on yourself all the time. You want to have a storage unit, which is the vault, which is nice, by the way. Which is a vault you will have in the game, and you will want to be able to actually store stuff in that vault that you actually like or need, or think that you can actually use it over time. You never know when you can actually do this kind of stuff, and having 250 storage unit doesn't really benefit anybody if you're gonna have different types of layouts. So you want to have a on-the-go character inventory to actually help you do that kind of stuff, which is like one of the big things in the game that actually would be needed. But then again, that's just my fault on the game. If anybody has another opinion, by all means say so. Because all I see people doing is just bashing the game all the time and telling BioWare what they actually need in the game. Like Angry Joe just bashed the game the entire time. He did have some good pointers, not gonna lie. He did have some good pointers, but he's more bashing the game than good pointers. But then again, that's just my opinion.